Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. All right, so it is official, guys. The White House and government has closed its doors, and this happens to coincidentally coincide with a recent pump that we've seen in the crypto market. If you guys didn't catch this morning's video, I do suggest you watch it. I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. XRP is up by over 4%. We've got Bitcoin here. Okay, Bitcoin is also up too. We just recently saw a bullish move for Bitcoin. And again, guys, this all coinciding with the beginning of October. So what does it have to do with? Is it related to some socio-political factors? Or is it just technical analysis showing us that October was always the month that we were going to start to pump? Well, the White House Budget Director, Russell Vought, on Tuesday evening directed federal agencies to begin implementing their shutdown plans after Senate Democrats blocked a Republican plan to keep the government open beyond midnight. And so the leaders of executive departments and agencies, quote, should now execute their plans for an orderly shutdown. Vought wrote in a memo, so formally initiating the first closure of the federal government since Donald Trump's first term. The directive sets in motion furloughs for hundreds of thousands of federal workers and the suspension of a wide range of government services. Federal agencies have published plans over the past several days detailing which roles and services are deemed essential enough to continue during the shutdown despite the lapse in funding. Vought has separately asked agencies to prepare plans to permanently reduce the federal workforce through mass firings during a shutdown. In a Tuesday memo, he said that federal employees should report to work for their next regularly scheduled tour of duty to undertake orderly shutdown activities. He added that federal agencies should continue to closely monitor developments, and OMB will provide further guidance as appropriate. So this is the information we have currently, and isn't it coincidental, Fojack here bringing this up? Shut this order now. Mr. Poole tweets from back from 2021. Not what you believe. Guys, as we're seeing these shutdowns, we are seeing, not only are we seeing cryptocurrency move, we are also seeing the gold market move too. Gold has seen recent highs here. Let me just bring up the chart here. I talked about this in this morning's video, but gold has also reached a new all-time high. Is there uncertainty, and is this pushing for investors to pump money into assets like crypto, usually a hedge against fiat or gold and silver, right? The same kind of thing. Very interesting to note there. So wanted to thank Fojack just for posting that. On top of which, a new financial system is being built right before our eyes. Bank XRP tweeting this out. Now, he was retweeting out initially Jack McDonald's tweet, right? The August RLUSD monthly independent attestation is now live. This is the first report issued by Deloitte and Touche LLP as RLUSD heads towards $800 million in market cap. We're committed to holding RLUSD to the highest bar in regulatory compliance and transparency. So let's just quickly take a look at RLUSD, and if we just look here under categories, we can just click on that, and let me just find stable coins right down in here, and you guys can see RLUSD is slowly gaining more steam here. Okay, up to $789 million, so that is very, very close to 800 million. Coming up in the ranks here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it's still number 8 in the ranking. Still a far cry away from USDT and USDC, but it is a fully regulated cryptocurrency, a fully regulated stablecoin, I guess I should preface by saying. So, you know, all these milestones are huge for RLUSD. It was built for institutional grade transactions. Some highlights from this month. Okay, RLUSD is officially listed on Bybit Spot. RLUSD is now a key stablecoin off-ramp for Blackrock's BITL and VanEck's VBIL tokenized fund holders. So we talked about that earlier this month. DBS and Franklin Templeton and Ripple have also partnered to enable the first ever repo trade for a tokenized money market fund with RLUSD. RLUSD is available in Africa thanks to some key partners like Chippercash, Valor, and Yellow Card. Guys, all the previous reports are available here, so I will link this tweet in the description of the video. And now we have the attestation, okay? Just going back to this Bank XRP tweet. This is the first report by Deloitte and Touche, and here are just some highlights there, just highlighted by Jack McDonald. But guys, this is something to be paying attention to into the next quarter, because when we do see this ramp up, we are going to see more utility being driven over the XRPL, even indirectly from the RLUSD, right? It's going to need XRP if this RLUSD is being transferred over the XRP ledger. This is essentially opening the door to real-world utility. And for more information on how I'm treating this bull run, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I'm going to say it. Q4 is the most exciting quarter here, and I still have the Patreon up for $5 a month. Subscribe now. It is only going to be at $5 for a limited time. You got to subscribe and stay subscribed to lock into that price point. So check it out if you guys are interested in what my XRP targets are going to be, what I'm thinking too when it comes to the Bitcoin high for this rally. There you go. Gonna keep moving along. We've got Mike Manfield here also commenting that Ripple partner Airwallex is now adding support for Nordic currencies. Okay, this came out from Finextra. From launch, Airwallex customers based in the EU will now be able to transact directly in the Danish kroner, Norwegian kroner, and Swedish kroner, as well as the Polish zloty, okay, the PLN. Now, when card transactions are made in these currencies, amounts will be debited directly from a multi-currency wallet, eliminating unnecessary foreign exchange conversions and delivering cost savings for customers. So that's interesting. The move meets strong demand from EU customers for local currency support and reflects Airwallex's interest to serve the Nordic market and continued expansion plan across Europe, providing tailored solutions that clients are demanding. Airwallex has been a Ripple partner for quite some time now, guys, and we have over the years seen them expand into new regions. Now they're focusing on the Nordic region. Commenting on the announcement, the vice president for Benelux and the Middle East at Airwallex, he did say, enabling Nordic currencies for our issuing customer addresses, one of the most frequent requests from our European customers. By enabling direct billing in Nordic currencies, we're removing friction, reducing costs, and making our product more local and relevant for businesses operating in the region and wanting to operate globally. Airwallex recently did announce $300 million in a Series F funding round at a $6.2 billion valuation. So they are up and running here. Wanted to thank Mike Manfield just for posting that about Ripple partner Airwallex. And I've got another one here from Mike. Ripple strikes a deal with i-payout. So this, a direct Ripple connection, guys. i-payout and Ripple, the leading provider of digital asset infrastructure for financial institutions, announced today a partnership for cross-border payouts. And this is now with the company i-payout. So through this partnership, customers using Ripple's cross-border payment solution can send enterprise payments to US and Canadian beneficiaries transparently and at scale. So guys, this is for enterprise payouts, enterprise grade payouts. So this is for the big money. Together, Ripple Payments and i-payout make it possible to deliver real-time payouts to the US from overseas, a capability designed to give financial institutions and platforms faster, more transparent, and more reliable ways to move money across borders backed by enterprise-grade digital asset infrastructure. For nearly 2 decades, we've helped platforms manage complex, high-volume payouts in over 180 countries. This coming from Eddie Gonzalez, CEO of i-payout. This partnership marks a leap forward, giving our clients the ability to move funds into the US faster and more affordably and more predictably than ever, all while delivering complete transparency into transaction status. This partnership is particularly powerful for banks, PSPs, and digital platforms operating globally, targeting merchant settlements, freelancer payouts, and treasury payments, all of which face increasing pressure to deliver fast, seamless earnings to users across borders. And like I said, this is happening in the US and Canada. And they plan to expand further into 2025. I think they mean 2026 at this point via stablecoin payouts through Ripple's RLUSD. This marks a foundational step towards modernizing the movement of money on a global scale. So they are saying enterprise-grade payments using the RLUSD, leveraging the XRP ledger. They're setting this up to be a big deal, okay? Not just by making payments faster, but by embedding smarter, more flexible infrastructure directly into the platform. So i-payout is now the most recent partner now, partnering up with Ripple. Great news there. Another great one from Mike Manfield there on Twitter. So when I see news like this, I'm assuming we are set up for the real-world utility, and that is coming at least in drips and drabs very soon. I don't know how long that's taken to scale, but I've got some ideas. Crypto Insight UK also commenting. He just retweeted this tweet out from Zafe Crypto, a new update from German analyst Oliver Michel. I'm going to play you guys this clip and then we're going to discuss. Also, I will be translating as it is in German. Listen to this. So he says, valuable spot XRP ETF approvals from the SEC this month. Okay, and what is gigantic here? Gigantic news is that Blackrock and Van Eck have tokenized funds already, which we talked about, right? Which essentially government bonds, and these funds can be exchanged at any time for Ripple stablecoin, meaning they can be made liquid and used for investment. So from that point of view, it is clear that Ripple, XRP, and the XRP ledger, the stablecoin, this entire ecosystem is in some way or other the first of a specific case, obviously linked to companies like Blackrock and Van Eck, and they are cooperating. I'm assuming that this form of cooperation will not be the only form of cooperation in the future. and that these will probably, a further announcement will happen in connection with Ripple and Blackrock, Ripple and VanEck. This is just the beginning, guys, regarding the different application scenarios for our blockchain and crypto technology. So that's great news. Really great news if you ask yourself what is going down. Oliver Michel is super bullish on this. Crypto Insight UK just commenting, I think he'll be right. However, it's not important as to whether he is right specifically. If enough people believe that, it will drive the price up too. So you got to think to yourself, even if we don't have the real world utility, and even if it's not at scale, guys, the perception of this is going to get XRP rocking and rolling. Even just over the last few hours here, XRP price has pumped about, how much is it pumped now? Just about 4%, about 4.25% to that high. So we are seeing bullish tailwinds take this thing up. And if enough people believe it, it will drive the price up. That's how speculation works. And it's also something that most underestimate in finance. It's not necessarily what you know, it's what you think will happen. And guys, this is what got XRP up to former all-time highs. I mean, when we've seen XRP pump over the years, it's all been speculation thus far. And, as I'm seeing the market rally today, we are still rallying in a spec market. This is why I have the Patreon, patreon.com/workingmoney channel. If you guys want to hear more insight on where I think the market's going to go, how high it's going to go, check it out. Back from 2017, we went up almost 6,900% based on spec alone. Okay, that was in 2017. That's when the price was under a penny, and all of a sudden it shot up to 40 cents per coin. And then that second leg up for XRP, guys, that was in around here, and that was about another 1,400%. So, XRP still has a long ways to go, but guys, we are moving in the right direction. Wanted to thank Crypto Insight UK, Zafe Crypto, of course, Mike Manfield, and Jack McDonald and Bank XRP for posting those. So Blackrock and VanEck, that is the beginning. DBS Bank, Franklin Templeton, guys, this is building an ecosystem that is going to use RLUSD and therefore XRP for real-world utility, and this is the foundation of the real-world utility. Even with this brand new Ripple partnership, right, with i-payout, this is meant for enterprise-grade payment solutions. So I think we're seeing a theme here. Now, Brad Garlinghouse has gone on the record and said in the past that Ripple is planning to capture 14% of cross-border payments from SWIFT, okay? And there are only 15 billion XRP actually floating around for payment liquidity. So Rob Cunningham here came up with some assumptions. Global cross-border payment flows about $179 trillion per year, and that was as per 2024 estimations. Now, we know their settlement time is about 3 to 5 seconds. The RLUSD is NYDFS approved, so we know there's only a handful of stablecoins that are approved by U.S. government. XRP supply context, he's given us some numbers here, 100 billion max, 35 billion in escrow, so about 64 to 65 billion circulating, positioning 15 billion of truly deployable non-escrowed XRP dedicated to payments. So he's not even considering the XRP that you and I are going to hold for the long term. So if we think 14% of 179 trillion, okay, and then he gives some numbers here, 25.1 trillion a year, 68.7 billion a day, pricing via inventory buffer. So with instant settlement, guys, the required XRP float is the inventory market makers. LSPs hold to quote both sides across the corridors, so there needs to be some available. Implied price by buffer. If we have a half a day buffer, guys, we're looking at about a $2.29 XRP with a 1 day buffer, $4.58, with a 2 day buffer, $9.15. Okay, 7 day buffer, many corridors and weekends and holidays. Then we're looking at $32.04. The interpretation here with 68.7 billion a day, okay, floating, and 15 billion XRP deployed, every extra day of inventory adds about $4.58 to the implied price. Sensitivity to how much XRP is actually deployed. So we're looking at this subset here, 15 billion only, working as liquidity in the market. So 10 billion XRP, if that's what we had, we'd see a price at about $6.87 for 1 day. The 2 day would be about $13.73. If we only had 5 billion deployed, though, that would double. $13.73 for 1 day and $27.46 for 2 days. Why this framing is sound. Now, listen to this. Using instant settlement rails, okay, so 3 to 5 seconds means the equation of exchange reduces to inventory, not big Nostro and Vostro floats, which we've seen in the past. That's why buffer, not annual flow, drives XRP's working market cap. The 179 trillion cross-border base and fast rising cross-border volumes are well documented. A 14% share is aggressive, but within this scenario analysis, and I mean the 14% is what Brad Garlinghouse said. We're not picking that number out of thin air. So the bottom line, guys, base case, 1 to 2 days of aggregate buffer, full 15 bill deployed, we're looking at about 460 to 920. If only 10 billion was truly deployed, we're looking at about $6.90 to about $13.70. If only 5 billion was truly deployed, tight float, staking, locked balances, we're looking at about $13.70 to $27.50. High stress, okay, global multi-corridor, 7-day buffer, $32 and beyond. But guys, that is just 14%. Now we have to combine markets. Think of the global derivatives market capture meaningfully, lifts this daily flow that XRP inventory must cover. And with only 15 billion XRP truly deployable, every extra buffer day adds a total. So now we're looking at 1 to 2, it would be about $5.30 to about $12.10. For stress broad coverage, okay, about 5%. 2 to 7 days, we're looking at about $16.50 to $57.90. And the tight effective float, we only have about 10 billion or 5 billion actually working after all this. This scales the price up linearly higher. So now we're looking at whether it's 18.16 or 36.33. And guys, all in the market price estimation, anywhere from $9.90 to about $90 total. He says, in his opinion, $10 to $90 is an extremely conservative forecast, given that 30 XRP ETFs plus 401ks, pensions, corporate treasuries, registered investment advisors, and retail FOMO sentiment is soon about to impact XRP. And so that's what he's estimating, anywhere between $10 and the $90 range. And that is, okay, maybe a few years off now. When we are at scale, don't forget, a lot more is going to be built on the XRP ledger when we do scale finally up to that 14%. And I do believe Brad Garlinghouse did make that comment that it was going to be by the year 2030. But guys, that's just only almost 4 years away. We're near the end of 2025. 2026 is just around the corner. All signs are pointing to a bullish future for XRP. And so right now we are trading in a spec market, but maybe not for long. For more information on how I'm treating this market, how I'm treating Q4 of 2025, I think, in my opinion, this is going to be the most exciting time in crypto. And so for more insight on what I'm doing, follow me, patreon.com/Working Money Channel. If you guys are interested in some Working Money Channel merch, you can mosey on down to the Working Money Channel merch store. Got some great items here for you guys to purchase. Every little bit counts and every little bit helps support the channel. And thanks so much to everybody so far who has been purchasing the Working Money Channel merch. Link is in the description of the video. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.